Well, hi. Nice to see you there in quarantine. Hadn't seen people in a while. Welcome to my kitchen. Oh, we're gonna make these biscuits. I hope you're ready. Hi. So, I've been swapping back recipes with one of my friends, one of my very good friends on Instagram, and it got me thinking, well, why don't I share with you one of my favorite recipes for one of my favorite things? Biscuits. Because I like biscuits. Ignore my water fountain hair. It makes me laugh when I watch these videos and everything moves up top. It makes me giggle. So enjoy it. Me. Anyway, so we're gonna make biscuits. It's a really simple recipe that I found. And it's just got a few ingredients. You don't have to put in any any things. No yeast, none of that. It doesn't have to work really hard to rise. It's just cut and dry, real simple. No extra like waiting time for, you know, let the dough rise for like 30 minutes or whatever. It's like, no, I want biscuits and I want them now. So we're gonna make biscuits and we're gonna make them now. What you're gonna need is you're going to need 2 cups of flour. I already have 1 cup in here. I've got 1 cup right here. You're going to need half a cup of butter. Since I got the minis, because I like all things small, because I'm small and it makes me feel like a giant. You're gonna need 1 stick or half a cup of butter, or in my case, 2 minis. That's cold. You're going to need 3/4 cup buttermilk. It will work with regular milk, but these are buttermilk biscuits. Let's be real. Buttermilk's where it's at. Anyway, so flour. You're gonna need 1 tablespoon baking powder, not to be confused with baking soda. It will dry your biscuits out and thusly dry out your soul and make your eyeballs water, because you'll be crying over your dead, nasty biscuits. Like literally, put it in there, go, don't ask me how I know. I just know. And you're going to need, I think that's everything. Oh, and salt and honey and some finishing, some topping, some whatever, butter for later. So right now we're just gonna dive on in. Oh, you'll also need a pastry knife and your cookie cutter and a baking sheet with parchment paper on it, unless you've got like one of those baking stones or something that's just like chill with like gushy things sitting on top of it and you're not gonna be like scraping it off later. Start off by setting your oven to 475. Yes, I did say 475 because we're in the South and everything's hot. It's hot, so why not make your kitchen inside hot too, so that you'll sweat, because the best part of baking is sweating, because that's the special ingredient. It's not love, it's your sweat and tears. Sometimes blood, but that's just between us. Don't spread germs. Wash your hands. Anyway, so I've got 1 cup of flour in. I'm gonna put another cup in. I'm going to mix. Ooh, I packed that good. That was really satisfying and messy. We'll save that for later. Happy mistakes, people. So we have 2 cups of flour in. We're gonna go ahead and mix all of our dry ingredients first. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt, because sometimes the 1 teaspoon of salt makes this a little too salty for me. So I'm just gonna add a smidge, a little bit of salt. And then my 1 tablespoon baking soda. Nope, see, I almost did it. Baking powder, see? Don't let me trick you. Don't fall for the lies. It's baking powder. That's soda, none of that. Tablespoon baking powder. And yes, everything I have in my kitchen that I possess is ridiculous, like me, because I'm extra. So everything else I touch has to be extra. Extra. All right, so that's my flour, my salt, and my baking powder. I'm gonna give that a good mix. And what you're going to do next is you're going to take a knife and I'm going to cut in my butter. I'm gonna cut it in little slices like that and drop it in. Let me get my whisk out of the way, whiskey business. And I'm going to cut in half a cup, 1 stick of butter. Salt. All right. That flour bomb was too legit. Okay, so I'm going to take, my butter is in, I'm gonna take my pastry knife, and I usually put my thumb like here so I can get like some, and you're gonna crush it like your enemies. Crush your enemies. Crush them. Make them cower before you. Anyway, that's a little dark. You're just gonna crumble it up into your dry mixture by pressing the butter through your tongs. You can use a fork. You can use whatever else you want. But I just prefer a pastry knife because it just makes things easier. So you're going to be doing this until you get a crumbly consistency where the butter is mixed in but not melted in. That's key. So I'll be doing this for a minute. I don't know what to talk to you about. So we're just gonna fast forward this later. And that'll be our secret. And we're back. I have now crushed my butter enemies. Not to be confused with my calories, because these biscuits gonna light you up, okay? Minute on the lips, lifetime on the hips. Yeah. So I've got my consistency. It's crumbly. The butter is there, just not fully like there. And what I like to do next for your buttermilk, quick pro tip, you can make your own buttermilk. Okay, just a sidebar here. I bought this little guy off of Amazon. And if you get like one of those little, like, you know, the little things of heavy whipping cream, and you put it in here, and you like put on a TV show, because you can be here for a while, and just mix for like ever. You can make your own butter, which I have, and you can make your own buttermilk. Once you get going in that, I have another instructional video on how to make butter for that, but it's when you use the little heavy whipping cream containers, it actually yields the precise amount that you'll need, or at least every time I've done it, that you'll need for this recipe, which is the 3/4 cup buttermilk. And you need to make sure that when you're making your biscuits that your buttermilk is cold, like brr, straight out the fridge, yo, cold. And so I'm going to add that, and you about to get messy. So if you hadn't prepped your surface already to get messy, you need to take the rings off, do the things, because it's about to get legit. So, adding my buttermilk. And because I am a texture person, this feels gross to me. So I'm just gonna toss my dry mixture, my flour, and my butter and all that over. I'm just gonna dig my hands into the cold, soupy mess I've just created. Love it. So nice. It's a great feeling. If your kids like slime and making messes, this would be a great time to just bring them in and let them do it, because it's nasty. But it's gotta get done, and it'll be worth it. And yes, I do have to stand on my tiptoes in my own kitchen because I'm a midget. Tiny things, people. Tiny things, including me. My husband's looking at me because he's never realized this, apparently. Have you never seen me?
I didn't know you stood on your tiptoes.
Yeah. It's like I'm living in a giant's house. But I'm not. It's a normal sized house. I'm just not a normal sized person. I'm a fun sized person. I am a fun sized adult. Or I'm a large child. Whichever route you want to go. So you're going to knead it till everything is incorporated into your mixture and you've got a less sticky concoction on your hands. So just keep kneading in the bowl, getting all the flour incorporated in, and then we will get to our next step in just a second. Okay, and I'm going to use my happy little mistake flour from earlier, and I'm going to really get in. Now, when I need my dough, I like to just give it some squeezes first and just kind of turn it over on itself. And at this point, I am now going to need to get more flour because I'm getting sticky. More flour. Spread that out, get that on my hands. if there's like, I mean, there's like, I'm sure some rules to kneading dough. But I just, again, I crush my enemies right into the marble. Just right in there. And I let them know. I let them know. I'm kidding. Why are we crushing our enemies so much today? I don't know. Crush your sins. Crush your COVID thoughts. Crush the curve. He doesn't laugh at my jokes anymore. This is what quarantine does. He doesn't think I'm funny. Now he's laughing. So anyway. Add whatever sound effects you wish. Those are just mine. All right, now, remember this doesn't rise a lot. It will rise some, but not a lot. So you want to flatten it out, and don't use rolling pin because like I at least, I can't use a rolling pin. You can do what you want, I'm not your mama. But I don't use a rolling pin because I kind of get a little happy with it and I'm like, yeah! And next thing I know, it's like paper thin. So I'm just gonna pat it out with my hands till it's about 1 inch thick. And usually one recipe makes about six to 8 biscuits. But it's a real easy recipe to double. And so you're gonna take your little cookie cutter, whatever shape you want your biscuit to be. And I'm gonna cut them out. Let go. Let my dough go. Give me a little biscuit. And I'm just gonna go around and cut everything out. It's gonna be a good biscuit. I get excited, okay? Like so. And now we're going to add, I add a little bit of honey and some of my own butter. Yeah, that I made. I made my cinnamon, let's just call it Texas Roadhouse butter, okay? It's like cinnamon, sugar, and honey, and butter. It's like a dream come true in your face. I also made rosemary butter, and the fun thing about making butter, other than yielding your buttermilk for biscuits and such, it's really, I mean, it's been great to cook with. I've used it in so many recipes, and like last night, I made some, last night? I don't know. I made some salmon and I used the rosemary butter on that. Crazy. Game changer. But I just put a little bit of honey and little pats of butter all on here. Kids, don't do this at home. Wouldn't recommend. 10 out of 10. Somebody's gonna chop a finger off. Don't be like Lydia. But the butter keeps really well and stays, and it's super tasty. And when I was seasoning everything, you know, you get to the seasoning part and you're like, am I adding too much? I don't know. With butter, no, you're not. You're not adding too much. If you feel like you're adding too much, add just a little bit extra and then you're good. And that's butter and biscuits and all the things. So we're gonna put these in the oven from anywhere depending on your oven. Remember, it's at 475. My oven is special. We're just gonna leave it at that, it's special. So I cook these for right about 10 minutes, but you can do anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes depending on how long or the heat ratios or whatever your oven does to you. But mine says 10, so we're going 10. And it's really hot. So there's gonna bake. I'm gonna clean up my area and we'll get back and we'll see the biscuits. And maybe, just maybe, I'll let it cool down before I bite the lava. Probably won't. I'll still put it right in my face, right out of the oven, because I like biscuits. See you soon. And we're back. And my oven has spoken to me, so I'm gonna get my biscuits. Ooh, it's hot. It's still hot. Do you see this lusciousness? Look at it. Look at it. I'm excited. These look amazing. And they smell like Christmas in my face. So there you go. And that's how we make easy biscuits. Yeah. They keep well, and yeah, put butter on them and put them in your face. They also absorb flavor well, so like jams, jellies, gravy, and biscuits. Anything else you want to smear on top of these. Blake likes to make little biscuit sandwiches, and he puts like the egg that goes like blah over the sides, and then he scoops it all up and it gets in his beard. But whatever, that's my life, not yours. But you just put whatever you want on them. Just remember to put your hopes and dreams on them too, and then eat them right back out. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Anyway, yay, biscuits!